keep it sane on my mind. Living life, sitting on a lake, breathing in my space, out of touch. This is kinda nice.
Off the tip, it is Nebraska basketball, 5-3 in Big Ten play this season. Coming off a loss to Penn State, down by more than 20, still searching for consistency, but energized to be in this building as Kroll will kick it out, and Jazz Shelley's going to reset on their first half-court possession. 4 to shoot for Shelley, and an offensive foul, a tough way to start for Nebraska. That time self-inflicted, but we know that Coach Bluter wants to get Alexis Markowski in foul trouble. Hannah Stolke gets a full head of steam, and that step on Markowski. We'll be seeing a lot of that today, even though she didn't finish.
They'll kick going at her inside, but Nebraska needs to set up and get touches for Markowski. So much of what they do is inside out.
Hannah Stolke forces the turnover. Clark left alone, inexplicably. She can't knock it down.
Well, and she even scooted her feet that time. I think she was so surprised she was so open.
Darian White loves that floater. Can't knock it down as both teams at a breakneck pace to start.
You know, it'll be interesting because both of them had a bye week.
Clark, long three, and we are now officially underway in this matchup.
Is the Caitlin Clark era, right? Beautiful shot after she misses her first shot, kind of settles everybody in the arena. Now Nebraska has to find some sort of a rhythm offensively. I mentioned after that loss at Penn State, they worked a lot on their offense this past week in practice.
Natalie Potts 1 of 16 from 3 in Big Ten play. This is what makes Iowa so dangerous. And immediately a timeout called by Amy Williams, and Nebraska trailing 5-0, and we are now officially underway in this matchup.
Is the Caitlin Clark era, right? Beautiful shot after she misses her first shot, kind of settles everybody in the arena. Now Nebraska has to find some sort of a rhythm offensively. I mentioned after that loss at Penn State, they worked a lot on their offense this past week in practice.
Natalie Potts 1 of 16 from 3 in Big Ten play. This is what makes Iowa so dangerous. And immediately a timeout called by Amy Williams, and Nebraska trailing 5-0 in 7 games, Brenda. 34 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. She has 1 30-point triple-double, was an assist shy and 2 rebounds shy of 2 others in addition to that.
Yeah, and she's never scored less than 30 points against Nebraska in 7 tries.
Had 41 in the Big Ten tournament semifinals as she jumps it off to Stolke. Trying to get settled here early. Callan Hake, strong off the bench. She's been one of the best 3-point shooters in Big Ten play. And everybody looking a little unsettled. Kate Martin, another dime, and Stolke will go to the free throw line to shoot 2.
So Iowa continuing to attack. So much attention given to Clark that leaves Stolke wide open. Watch how Stolke just moves into the vision, and what a whip pass around by Caitlin Clark to set her up. No rotation from the Nebraska defense. They're just all out of sorts. Missing a lot of three-pointers, Nebraska. They're not getting the ball in the paint.
Stolke goes 2 for 2 on that trip, something that she's continued to work on as part of her game. A 50% career free throw shooter. Stewart's, she also misses. Nebraska is yet to make a shot still.
And continuing to just fire up three-pointers when they need a high percentage shot.
33-4 in Big Ten play since February of 2 years ago. Under Bluter, this is a team that has not dropped back-to-back games since 2022.
Yeah, pretty remarkable. And you can tell that they are focused and fired up off that loss on the road to Ohio State.
Kate Martin just has that rim out, having a career year across the board. Hake barreling into the front court. She draws the foul.
Try to get a high percentage shot. The bonus is she draws a foul on Clark and she goes to the free throw line.
First on Clark. Hake players made a big jump from her freshman to her sophomore year, goes 1 for 2.
Yeah, she is such a spark off the bench, such a high-energy player for Nebraska. Makes a real difference for them, and she made a very smart play there.
Clark weaving, disorienting this defense, drops it off to O'Grady.
I thought O'Grady did a good job in the Ohio State game when Stokey got into some foul trouble, came in and played quality minutes.
Lob inside to Markowski. She corrals it and puts it up.
She went and took a little break on the bench just to gather herself. Amy Williams wanted her to take a little time. Makes a good play coming off the bench.
Good things happen when the ball gets in to Alexis Markowski. Another turnover for the Hawkeyes. Knocked away by Feuerbach, who came flying in. She's also an intense competitor. You heard in our open how badly she wants to beat Iowa, has not done it. And she's someone this team counts on to bring that fire. Markowski working the offensive glass. Inside to Markowski once more. One-on-one, has a poor angle that time, but still alive. Markowski will turn it over.
Good defensive possession for Iowa. They were right there on every catch.
Another fast break opportunity broken up, but a whistle. And more free throws coming up for the Hawkeyes. And that foul issued to Logan Nisley, her first.
And I had a chance to meet her mom before the game. Addie O'Grady's mom came from the Denver area and played basketball in college.
Markowski there by herself on the second try, puts it through.
Pretty good block by Molly Davis at 5'7" on the first attempt for Markowski, but she stuck with it.
Clark looking for a teammate, instead finds a camera person. Markowski not to be denied when she's around the basket. A 20 and 10 threat every night. He's the Big Ten in double-doubles.
Now, Potts is hesitating on that three-point shot because that really hasn't been her rhythm shot in Big Ten
players averaging a double-double. The other, Wisconsin's Sarah Williams. Very special company between those two. Wow. Jazz Shelley took more than midway through this first quarter to even score. We've seen that punch-back mentality that Amy Williams has been trying to make the identity of her team throughout the season to this point. 3 seconds to shoot for Davis, and one of those crafty ways to score. And I still think about that floater she had over Cody McMahon. Absolute perfection. She's going to put it up. Davis going now with 5 seconds left. Marshall, one dribble, pull-up is good.
Boys see her and get her autograph. They're so inspired. You know they're going home, and they're working on their shot. They're working on their passing and their ball handling, and she is inspiring another generation to follow in her footsteps.
Markowski, one-on-one against Stokey. A little too strong, and Kenna Moriarty keeping it alive. And Potts straining the long two.
Well, we talked about Potts not shooting well from three-point range, but she has a great mid-range game and around the basket, great length for a freshman. That's a good shot for her to get on the board.
She's coming off a Big Ten low, 3 points for her as Clark misfires from 3. Stokey trying to keep it going on the offensive glass. Interesting to see her and Grace Wolski in that conversation, very much so. Darian White's almost. It's similar to her and Molly Davis, where they took that next step up to one of the best conferences in women's basketball. And Davis told us today, if you had told me I was here a couple of years ago, I would not have believed you. I'm sure it's the same for White as well, to be at this level and in this kind of game.
And have this kind of experience. And not all players that transfer from that mid-major level to the Power 5, the big conference level, make that shift. And both Molly Davis and Darian White have done that and fit in well in their culture, in their systems.
Takes confidence, especially as undersized players. Here she's guarding Clark, and Clark's going to put her to work in the post.
And they have gotten a lot of second chance points here in the early going that has allowed them to get back in this game.
Clark putting her foot on the gas, goes right at White again.
Watch how Clark was triple teamed as she got into the paint and looking all around for someone to pass to.
Clark slicing through. Can't get the layup to go.
And again, good defense for Nebraska, being back in the paint and not allowing her a clean look.
Darian White into the paint and the beautiful float. Molly Davis making the play happen for this offense.
And Kate Martin is the kind of player that Natalie Potts emulates to be. And they're this very similar kind of players, and that's what Natalie Potts needs to do. Exactly what Martin did.
Jumping sky high is Stolke.
Kate Martin.
Clark dialing up at three. She misfires.
Well, Martin didn't attack that time because there was a defender back. Unselfishly kicked out, reversed the ball. They get an opportunity for Caitlin Clark. Kate Martin is always going to make those smart decisions for her team.
One of the reasons Caitlin Clark is who she is because of players like Kate Martin. Along the baseline, Kendall Moriarty, a confident shot from the short corner.
And she is so long and springy, and so she's in the game to rotate over and defend Caitlin Clark for a while. They want to try to give that look. Now she commits the foul there.
Had to do a couple.
Need another promotion to get people in the stands? I'm like, they really didn't need that promotion this year, but with all the young girls that are coming and all the bracelets and everything, that's pretty cool.
But really, this is maybe the closest group to her stratosphere in terms of recognition. Molly Davis telling us how they're recognized.
There are players on players on players. Nice little hand work from Caitlin Clark, but she falls right on Kroll and Markowski, the center. I love that NCAA record, and let's make sure that people know that it is the NCAA record she's going for, because the women's college basketball scoring record is actually higher than that. It was set during the AIAW years by Lynette Woodard. When you look at Lynette Woodard and what she did in women's basketball, she scored 3,649 points. Lynette Woodard played in the AIAW era before the NCAA, and I want people to make sure they know that was a big part of our women's basketball history.
And Coach Pluter loved that distinction. Talked about watching Woodard play and her memories there at that time. Long three.
Amy Williams called an early timeout, and Nebraska has regrouped and taken the lead.
They were down 9-0. They looked frazzled. They looked unsettled. Completely different team than we saw the first 4 minutes of the game. Clark, difficult angle for that three. Markowski has it taken away by a full.
She's the kind of player you want to stick her nose into the action. It's not easy to grab the basketball away from Alexis Markowski and take it away, and Affolter just came in there and got it.
Markowski, beautiful footwork. She came into this season knowing that without Monica Sinano, without McKenna Warren, the hardest worker we've got, selfless, and she immediately started things out, getting 14 rebounds against Virginia Tech.
And so now Iowa does not have O'Grady in the game anymore. They really have a very smaller lineup, and just spreading the court are so difficult to defend.
The bench stepping up for the Hawkeyes in a Affolter three, igniting the lead back in Iowa's favor. Markowski getting the seal and the finish.
No help side there.
Stolke runs into the help defense.
Yeah, that was great rotation from Kendall Colin.
And Hank, another.
Out of the timeout. Watch as they get Stolke on the block. Clark outside. Coley with her length is defending Clark right now.
Kate Martin gets the step and
breaks down. She puts the ball on the floor and attacks and gets to the free throw line.
Looking to beat the Hawkeyes in Carver-Hawkeye. Moriarty, lots of time and space, can't knock it down.
And Martin is there to collect the rebound to not allow Nebraska another offensive rebound opportunity.
Marshall, great look. That is short. Affolter, no surprise. She puts it in.
Both Markowski and Stolke went to the floor hard on that play.
Clark rifling the pass to her teammate Murray.
Affolter has lit up this team. They needed her spark. She ripped the ball away from Markowski. She hit the three-pointer. She made the play the last time down the court. She has brought this crowd to its feet.
To shoot. Shelley. Shot clock is off for Clark and the Hawkeyes on a 6-0 run.
And the crowd gets quiet to give them a chance to run their last offense.
Clark through a couple defenders. Another 3 falls for the National Player of the Year candidate. She's up to 10.
They got down early, but they played strong. But it'll be interesting to see how both teams now adjust here in the second half.
I think these first couple minutes, Brenda, very important for both of these teams, setting the tone for the second half. A hostile environment, yet another sellout here at Carver-Hawkeye Arena, one of the toughest places to play, let alone win. White's the hesitation, drags that foot and travels. White extending that full court defense on Clark.
Yeah, smaller defender right now on Clark in White, so watch her to get down in the paint.
And in the first half, we saw Clark explicitly post up White. Now she has Shelley on her, one of the best defenders in the Big Ten, and she's bottled up. But Kate Martin bails her out.
And it's just beautiful action by Kate Martin to make that backdoor cut. She made herself available when Clark was in trouble.
And the 3 drained by the freshman Natalie Potts. Kate Martin lining up at 3. That's left short. A rebound from near back by Molly Davis. Why not? And a nice couple dribble pull-up for Marshall.
I've been watching basketball a lot of years. I don't know if I've ever seen somebody rebound from flat on their back.
Can we put that in the box score?
That's got to be somehow.
Intercepted by Clark. She's one-on-one, goes right at goal. Shelley working the pick and roll. Potts wants it again, and Stokey can't corral it. Darian White does, though. 2 free throws coming up.
Well, we saw Molly Davis on her back with the rebound at the other end. Look, she trips, falls, stumbles, and the ball comes right to her. How about that? And then not only does she rebound, but she passes it and then reverses the basketball, and Marshall is able to get the basket. So she didn't commit a turnover. She didn't roll around. She didn't do anything she shouldn't have done. Just was smart about it and got the ball out. Be there. The ball's coming. To get on the offensive boards, that's a real problem for Iowa right now. If they want to distance themselves in this game and they want to kind of stomp the foot on Nebraska, they have got to not allow them to get those second chance opportunities.
Foul on the perimeter against Potts, trying to guard Marshall. But you were right, Brenda, because of course it's Markowski, who's coming off a career-high 19 rebounds against Penn State, but it is 1 through 5 hitting the glass.
Yeah, everybody is on, and that's hard to do.
Clark draining a 3, her 3rd today. Nice dribbling, goes up strong, and gets it back. And stolen by Kate Martin. A heads-up play by Martin.
I know fans, all of us are going to miss Caitlin Clark when she decides to go to the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark back to back, and she is heating up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Continuing, she's moving up every list and just so impressive in every aspect of her game.
3 of 3 to start the second half. At the break, had 10 points on 3 of 10 shooting. Markowski stripped, no fouls. He will come in to replace O'Grady, going to the bench with 2 personal fouls. Monster game, most recently 16 and 19 as Shelley skies for that board. It's a jump ball.
That defense, she stepped up, and that's why she got the blocking foul.
Hake staying in with 3 personals and a late.
But then the reach-in happened on the outside that the foul was called.
but not much better sending Kate Martin to the free throw line. But that ends 30 straight free throws she had made this season.
Good thing you didn't say that before she shot.
No curse.
Why we have intercollegiate sports for women, because it was started by Dr. Christine Grant and a lot of those women. And that's why I mentioned the AIAW stat before when Lynette Woodard, her all-time scoring record. I know Dr. Christine Grant would be so proud of Beth Getz, and she would want people to know about the AIAW.
Markowski battling for it, gets the position and lays it in.
That pass could not have been any more perfect. It was just exactly where Markowski needed it.
Her 13th double-double this season, and she's also working up the charts. In Nebraska history, her 34th. The record is 40 all-time. Clark, quick trigger, and drains the three. That is number 5.
That is her strength, is going to the left. And you just have to be aware of that when you are defending her.
Jazz Shelley, the step back, answers.
And Nebraska not going away. Iowa has created some distance here, but Nebraska keeps fighting.
Not if Caitlin Clark has anything to say about it. Foul inside as Stolke was trying to find some space. It's at 6 Eastern only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Taylor McCabe, lethal from long range. The Nebraska native getting in on the action.
Yeah, gets a chance to go in. A Fremont, Nebraska native coming over here to Iowa to play, so getting a little playing time here against the Huskers.
Off one leg, the floater from Shelley doesn't fall. And it's been a cold third quarter, 3 of 9 for Nebraska. But a turnover by the Hawkeyes. Shelley, good from 3.
And you got to reward that. I mean, Jazz Shelley goes to the floor to get that steal and ignites the break. You have to reward that.
Clark, a freight train to the rim. And you've seen a different kind of engagement and I think determination in this second half.
And she actually was on the bench for a little bit of that first Nebraska run when they really took a run in the first quarter.
Caitlin Clark, 106 career 20-point game.
Mind-boggling how many times, how consistently she has scored well. They're pretty amazing.
She had 1 3 in the first quarter. Darian White sneaking in for that rebound. And a blocking foul.
Not a lot here in the third quarter, but it is the way they can create.
Beautiful screen and a set play from McCabe, who hits the deck. No whistle, and Nebraska will push. Shelley, the no-look. The 3 from Nisley. She's got it.
Has really been contributing this year. A former 3-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of North Dakota.
39% from 3 as Kate Martin glides. They go to Shelley, who can't get free. Another opportunity for the freshman. Potts will not go, and we have
Kate Martin. They love to get up and down the court and score in transition, already over their season average against, as you mentioned, Sloan, a team that typically defends in transition well.
An offensive foul is going to go against Nebraska, and that'll be the second on Markowski.
Well, they try to set up a play here out of the quarter break. Shelley setting the screen, and Markowski puts an elbow in the side of Stolke and displaces her to draw that foul.
Clark working through traffic. Stolke the dish. And that floater does not fall for Davis. Jazz Shelley calling her own number here in the fourth.
Big shot. Nebraska still within striking distance. And as good as Clark and Kate Martin have been, Stolke has been a little quiet going against Markowski, and she's trying to pull her out away from the basket.
Caitlin Clark dials up another 3. She's got 28 7 threes.
Creating that space.
A lob inside to Markowski.
And they're, again, showing her ability to come off a screen tough.
Against Cleveland State, a game in Des Moines. She's at 7 right now.
Possibly going to pass Jackie Stiles if she gets enough points here today, and she's within striking distance.
Enter today 43 points shy of surpassing her. 2 to shoot for Clark. She'll need the heroics here. And does it. Is anyone surprised?
That's what they come to see. I mean, Jazz Shelley was out on her at half court knowing that the shot clock was winding down, and was on her at half court, and she still created that shot.
31. 8 threes.
The shot clock was winding down. It gets away from Clark. Look at Jazz Shelley knows. I know she's going to shoot out there. And she still creates the space. And she looks like she made Jazz Shelley think that she was going to use that screen. And instead, and you saw Shelley just lean just a little bit, and that's where Clark goes back to her left to score that.
That's still a logo 3. It's a different logo.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Incredible.
Same degree of difficulty. Shelley looking off her defender. Kate Martin, the blow by, but not the finish. One more try, though, thanks to her efforts. Clark gets past Shelley in a hurry. Dishes.
Making sure she made herself available.
Jazz Shelley looking to find a rhythm with her shot. Molly Davis, a great job clearing the boards. Kate Martin going to slow things down. Clark goes the other way. Won't be denied. The 3 by Nisley. Not there, but Haight keeping it alive for the Huskers. Petrie posting up Martin. Calmly kisses it off glass. Approaching the midway point of this fourth quarter. Ball in the hands of Clark. Gets free. And the finish not there. Nisley up ahead to Markowski. And she lays it in. Nebraska outscoring the Hawkeyes here in the fourth quarter. Trying to keep it within striking distance. Martin misses everything there.
And Nebraska has some big wins in Big Ten this year, as they beat Michigan State in front of her on the NCAA ranks. Are all so impressive. Love it because Caitlin Clark is such a phenomenal player. Just remember that it didn't start when the NCAA started in the early 80s. There was an AIAW before that, and Lynette Woodard actually owns the all-time scoring record. And as she gets closer and surpasses the NCAA record, I hope people keep an eye on Markowski in the first half, get a big offensive rebound. She can put the ball on the floor and create
10 points for Affolter. 4 of 5 shooting from the floor. Jazz Shelley gonna try and make a comeback here from her own hands. Drains the 3, her 5th.
And that's probably too quick of a shot for Iowa.
Nebraska in the bonus.
Back now for Penn State makes a big difference for them, being back the last couple of games. And they started
10 to shoot for the Hawkeyes in the hands of Affolter. Stokey lining up the 3.
Markowski inside, but stretching it out there, and then coming back and getting a steal inside.
At least the second time she's done that, just snatched it out of the air.
Yeah, you've really seen her hops on display today.
Clark being guarded by Shelley most of this half, and 3 free throws.
Quiet today going against Markowski inside.
On to win, Brenda. I think we can look back at that sequence from Stokey.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt. Single-handedly gets a stop defensively on the other end. That's a big swing and a big couple of plays from Stolke.
Nicely.
11 threes. Nebraska has made 9 threes in this game. It's the strength of both these teams.
Exceptional game after exceptional game, 7 straight times.
And you get just 10 points in the first half in this game. Created for herself here.
Yeah, Shelley gets all the way to the rim. The layup not there. Clark drops it off. Kate Martin is fouled.
That's so violently, hoping that she is able to recover.
She's up to 16 points. 53rd career. Entered today, tied for 7th all-time in Big Ten history. And here, she'll be able to add 2 more points. 38. 28 coming in the second half.
And Iowa has just put their foot on the accelerator here in the second half. They've made it difficult for Nebraska to do what they wanted to do on this end with the Iowa defense. Clark has been phenomenal as usual.
Clark exits the floor right now with 1:49 to go. 38 points, 12 of 22 shooting, 10 rebounds, 6 assists in the second half.
On the road at Ohio State in overtime, and they come home and they have a week to prepare for this game.
Coach Bluter said normally you don't want that midweek bye after a loss. You can just kind of sit in it, but she said this team was extremely motivated as Hake.
And playing against the 5th-ranked team in the country on their home court.
Wrap things up here first. McCabe drains another 3.
A Gatorade Player of the Year from the state of Nebraska.
Nebraska battled back, took punches early, but made this a couple possession contests at the half. But it was all Iowa.
Caitlin Clark right at this moment, but they are ready. They are ready to get their autographs.
AJ Ediger is fouled. Well, they're saying, little girls, we know how huge of fans they are. Look at that poster, Caitlin. It would be enchanting to meet you. Are you kidding me? The custom shirts. I can't handle it.
That's awesome.
It is so sweet to see the efforts that these fans go to be able to look up to someone like her, to have interactions with her. That's what makes this fandom. You know, Jan Jensen said on the coach's show this week, she said, this is a pretty cool ride we're on right now, and that's all part of the umbrella. Ediger snares the rebound, and Iowa is going to take care of business as Clark goes to 8-0 against the Huskers. And they improve to 8-1 in Big Ten play.
Well, they took the best shot from Nebraska, especially in the first half, but came through in the second half. Clark scored well.